decided that on some Saturday night, instead of having skating, he'd have this stage show. So we went down, set it all up, and we had, of course, the floating lady. But it got off to a bad start. First production was to produce me and my sister from the cabinet, and one of the front legs came off, wasn't fastened properly, and the cabinet fell forward, and we just came stumbling out, and the fake doors were going like this. And the skaters weren't real happy anyway, because they come to skate, not see a magic show. I don't know why the owner hadn't told them, you know. So we proceed through the show, and of course one of the final things was the floating lady. My sister was the one he floated. I was backstage, of course, because I wasn't alive anymore. And but I was one of the guys who cranked the wheels. A big old wooden thing, you know, and it had a counterbalance bar. And we hadn't looked closely because skating rinks have a rail around the outside.
Yeah.
And the counterbalance caught on the rail.
Oh my.
So we got her so far, about this far off the couch, and we couldn't go any further, and suddenly we said, oh my gosh, it's caught back here. What are you going to do? Dave's out there saying, rise, rise. And he got a little upset. You know, he said, rise, damn it, rise. We can't, Dave, you know, it's caught. So he gets the hoop out, you know, and does the whole thing, but it was horrible. It was one of those worst times. The rest of the times all went pretty well. The other funny thing that happened to Dave was at Eastside Baptist, a men's group. I was with him. It was not a stage show. It was a skull show, but he had the flip over box was a live rabbit, and anyway, he's going to produce the rabbit, and the rabbit died.
Oh my.
And Dave reaches down. The rabbit's dead, you know, to pull it out of the box. And he starts crying. This was before we got one on the road. This is when he's much younger. Anyway, another story is about the, in Madisonville with Bill Boldy, the ventriloquist. They went into this restaurant windows. They were sitting by the window, and it was a windy day. And Dave was in one of those parking slots where you can only park so long. And here comes the cop, puts the ticket on, and Dave says, I'm not worried. When the cop went on down the road, he had an automatic starter on the thing, and the wipers were already on, and he knew it. He just flipped the thing on, the wipers go, the ticket blew away, and he let it go. He never paid the ticket. Boldy got a big kick out of that. I took care of that. State convention was in Evansville. Was the JC's was in Evansville, and Dave got into a casket, and they were doing this gag. The casket was open, and Dave sat up and declared that the JC's were not dead. He had a great sense of humor. When they were doing the radio program, he did it from his house, long distance. And we were listening to KMOX out in the kitchen, and all of a sudden we heard his voice started to echo. And we went in to check on him, and he was sitting on the toilet and getting echo off of the tile walls, you know, just carrying on the show. Like nothing had happened, you know, but something had. Then similarly in that house in Paducah, we were there, and he went down the hall for something, and his Godwin was there as a writer, and he was interviewing me and my wife about Dave, and Dave got worried about what I was going to tell, and he came in the room yelling, saying, don't tell him any of that shit. And I really wasn't telling any bad stories on him. Let's see. One of the funny ESP stories was when we lived on Riverside, Evansville. He came by, and we were sitting at the table and having a cup of coffee or something, and he said, some psychic I am. He had just sent in a 5-year subscription to Life magazine, and they had just gone on to publish it. But that was the neat thing. He could laugh at his own stuff, and he took it seriously, but not too seriously. Let's see. Oh yeah, this you may not appreciate this as much as I do, because he loved to play chess, and he was very good at it. Dave was a very intelligent guy. I didn't know how to play. My wife, Bobby, my late wife, didn't. We were down in Paducah. So he wants us to play, and she volunteers. He's going to teach her. So he taught her to play chess. She immediately beat him 8 games. And we're sitting there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're sitting there because she had a sharp mind for games too, and he didn't know that. And she picked up on it right away. And I think he finally beat her in the 9th game, but it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We're all sitting there like this, when's he going to give up? He finally did.